How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. I'm back here again for our video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about strictly horror movies. It's been a while since I've just talked about horror films, and today is a pretty special video because I'm actually tackling two birds with one stone. First off, I'm actually doing a top 5 list that I never did previously on my channel. And also, this is going to be a contest entry for Andrewballina. He just reached 3,500 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. Andrew has always been a really great guy. He's got a lot of great videos on his channel. He's always been good to me. He's posted a lot of great comments. You know, we've talked before in the past, and he's just an all-around great guy and a great YouTuber. And if you don't know who Andrew is, and if you want to check out his channel or check out his contest, I'll leave a link down below to Andrew's channel. Be sure to check him out. He's a great guy. Like I said, I've talked about him in the past, but for those of you who haven't heard about him, he is a great YouTuber and just a great person. And like I said, he is doing a contest to celebrate 3,500 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. He definitely deserves it, and I already know that from the time I'm posting this video, he's going to have a lot more. So congratulations, Andrew, on over 3,500 subs. And like I said, he's doing a contest, and he's giving away the Umbrella Blu-ray release of the original the original Night of the Living Dead, as well as the Tom Savini remake. So it's both the original and the remake. The 1990 remake, I believe, is when it came out. Both of them on Blu-ray from Umbrella Entertainment, which is a really nice releasing company in Australia. And yeah, it's just a really cool looking Blu-ray. And he asked a really great question, and like I said, it was for a list of movies that I haven't done a video of on my channel. He wants to know, what is your top 5 favorite zombie movies? And this was actually kind of difficult because there are so many great zombie films that I absolutely love, and to narrow it down to just top 5 was really difficult. So what I tried to do is I tried to find movies that were really rewatchable for me. You know, these are movies that, if I think about zombie movies, these are ones that I usually go back to and watch. I could have done a top 10 or a top 15 list, but I think I narrowed it down to a good top 5 list, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys what I feel are, in my opinion, my 5 favorite ones. Now, some of these are true classics. All of these are classics. They're all ones that I'm sure everybody has seen, but if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend checking out all these movies if you want to check out some great zombie films. So the first one I'm going to talk about, this is my number 5 spot, is a film by Lucio Fulci, and that is Zombie. Now this is from an Italian film director, Lucio Fulci, like I said, and this is one of his best made films, definitely. It's one of his most well known. And one thing I love about this one is atmosphere. You know, this movie has great, creepy atmosphere. You got a group of characters, they're trapped on an island. You know, there's really no way for them to escape, and they're being surrounded by zombies. And that's what I love about this movie, the atmosphere. Another one of my favorite things about it is the theme song. I love the theme song to this movie as well. And of course, there's always this movie is a great mix of really serious scenes and then cheesy scenes as well. Probably the scene that everybody remembers is a scene when one of the zombies fights a shark. You know, like, who would have thought of that? You know, that sounds like a cheesy sci-fi channel movie, Zombie versus Shark. You know, I could actually see that coming out right after they do, you know, Sharknado 5 and 6. You know, I actually could see them doing a movie like that, which I always thought was funny, but it's done in a way where it's kind of cheesy, but it's not all the way cheesy. There's a lot of great gore in this movie as well. Like I said, great atmosphere, great music, just an all-around great zombie film. The one that I definitely recommend. And this is probably one of the most, this movie's popular, but it's not as popular as the other films I'm going to be talking about. Also, I just want to say, the movies I'm going to be talking about are films that I've been watching for years. So there are going to be some movies that are favorites of other people, but they're not favorites of mine, because in order for a movie to be a favorite of mine, I have to have been able to watch. I've had to have watched it for years and years, and they're movies I can just always go back to. Now, number 4, it's considered one of the goriest films of all time, and I agree. Dead Alive, directed by Peter Jackson, the man behind some of the greatest blockbuster films of all time, including, of course, the Lord of the Rings films. Well, before he did that, he did this. And this is just one of the most over-the-top, gory movies I've ever seen. I love this movie simply because it's so gory and so bloody, you just have to laugh at it. It is a hilarious movie, and it's just so over the top and overdone. I really wish that Peter Jackson could do this now. It'd be really cool if he just, now with all the money he has, I think that he could do a movie like this and it would be like a huge hit. I really do think. But this is really, like I said, over the top, gory, bloody fun. The story's not, not as engaging, but this movie is all about the effects, and this one really does all practical effects, and it's just an all-around, just a crazy, gory, bloody fun ride. All right. Now for my number 3 spot, this is definitely a lot of people's number 1, and I can really understand why. Dawn of the Dead, from, of course, George A. Romero, the king of zombie films. One of the most popular and one of the most iconic zombie films of all time. One thing I love about this film is, well, the setting's great. It takes place all in a mall, which, when you go to a mall, you kind of think, you have pretty much everything. You got food, you have places to sleep, you got beds, you got pretty much almost whatever you need. And so that's why I really love the whole setting of the mall. I prefer the mall over Underground and Day of the Dead. I really prefer the mall setting. This is kind of it's a great movie about, of course, zombies, but it's also about characters. And you actually see these characters are together, and as the movie goes on, they just go down, and it just sort of shows, what is a good word to put in it? I guess the downfall of humans, the downfall of characters, and that's what I like about it. There's a lot of great character development in this movie, and you really get in touch with these characters, and you really care about them, and as the movie goes on, things just start happening, and you really feel them, and you really do feel sad for them in the end. And of course, the movie's got great zombie gore effects as well. So yeah, Dawn of the Dead has always been, out of the 3 Dead movies, it's always been my second favorite, and my first favorite's coming up now, but yeah, Dawn of the Dead, true iconic. And my number 2, in my opinion, this is the greatest zombie film of all time. Now, it's not my favorite movie because even though I absolutely love this film, I can't watch it. I don't watch it as much as my number 1 pick. But my number 2 pick is Night of the Living Dead by George Romero. This is the DVD. And like I said, this is probably the greatest zombie film of all time. And the reason why I say this is because every other zombie movie that came after has been inspired by this movie. It's been referenced and it's been paid tribute to in every great zombie type film. Without this movie, I don't think that the zombie genre would be as big as it is now. And of course, this movie, great atmosphere, great characters. This basically, really puts you in the mind of you're trapped in a house with these people you've never met before, and there's zombies everywhere. So the whole idea is, how to get away. But as the movie goes on, the characters start, hating each other. They start getting in fights. And so then it gets into the point where not only do you have to protect yourself from the zombies, you also have to protect yourself from the other people in the house. And that's one thing that's great about George A. Romero's zombie films. It shows the downfall of characters. The downfall of mankind in a way. And I guess you could say that a zombie apocalypse would be the downfall of mankind. Because obviously the zombies are affected by something that we have done in this world. And so I really love movies that, this movie is not necessarily just a zombie movie. It's also about the downfall of characters. And that's one thing I really love about it. So George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead is my number 2 favorite zombie film, and I still think it's one of the greatest. It's definitely in the top 10 greatest horror films of all time, but I also say it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, zombie film. And my number 1 pick, like I said, I love Night of the Living Dead. I think it is the greatest zombie film, but it's not one I can watch all the time. I usually wait until around Halloween to watch that, but this movie is one that I watch I can watch it any day. Evil Dead 2. Now, I love the Evil Dead franchise. As you guys can tell from my name, I got the name, Dead by Dawn by this movie because the subtitle for this movie, Evil Dead 2, is Dead by Dawn. And this is where I wish this was a top 10 list, because I would have also put the original Evil Dead and Army of Darkness on this list. But Evil Dead 2 is the one I can watch the most. It's got a great mix of horror and comedy. You know, this is right where the first movie, even though it had some comedic elements, for the most part, it was a mostly straightforward horror film. And this one, it's a good, great mix of horror and comedy. There's some great blood effects. You know, there's blood, of course, squirting everywhere, all over Ash. Of course, this is when Bruce Campbell becomes the iconic character of Ash. He gets his chainsaw, you know, he gets a shotgun. Of course, he starts saying his classic lines, you know, like, groovy, you know, and all that. And it just, this movie's just a definite classic. So are the others. I love all three Evil Dead movies, but if I had to pick one that I could watch over and over again, it would be Evil Dead 2. And I think a lot of people agree. It's kind of like a remake to the original, but it continues on, and it's also a sequel, which is something that I really do enjoy. So Evil Dead 2 is definitely my #1 favorite zombie film. And I also noticed some people might say, well, this is more of a possession movie. Well, no, because some of the characters actually die, and then they come back as zombies. So I would call the Evil Dead films zombie movies, but I would also say they are also possession films. You know, so I hope that that counts. But anyway, guys, that is it. That is my top 5 favorite zombie films. Like I said, I could have just went on and on. There's so many other zombie movies I love, like Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. The Battery is another great modern horror film that I love. 28 Days Later. What is another one? Shaun of the Dead is another good one. I didn't want to include any of those because I didn't want to include any comedy films. But like I said, I could have done a top 10 or a top 15 favorite zombie films. I also would have loved to include the original Evil Dead and Army of Darkness as well, and so many others. There's so many other great zombie films, but those are my top 5 as of right now. Those are my top 5 favorite ones that I can just watch over and over again, and they're movies that I just absolutely love. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my list. Let me know what you guys think about the movies I picked. And like I said, if you guys want to join Andrew's contest, I'll leave a link down below to his channel. He's a really great guy, like I said, and he's an all-around great person. And I just, you know, I really hope that he gets a lot of entries for this contest. And Andrew, once again, congratulations, man, on over 3,500 subscribers. You really deserve it, and you really deserve a lot more because you are an all-around great person. And I just want to say thank you for all your support you've given me on my channel. And as a way, I want to give back. I want to enter your contest, and I really hope you enjoy my entry. Anyway, guys, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you want, and yeah, see you later.